The story of Chateau Diaries is one of the most interesting ones on YouTube. It takes place in the middle of the French countryside, a large, old estate that is full of mystery, charm, and a web of scandals that not many people have tried to unravel. At first glance, it seems like a lovely dream, a tale of love, devotion, and the search for something wonderful. There are, however, a lot of questions that have been building up behind that perfect front. Today, we're going to take it all apart to ask one simple question. What lies has Stephanie Jarvis been keeping? Millions of people have been following Stephanie's journey to fix up this 16th century chateau for years. People from all over the world use a YouTube show, the Chateau Diaries, as a way to escape and see what life is like in the French countryside. It looks amazing, has a magical feel, and has interesting stories that draw you in. But more and more watchers are curious about what's going on behind the camera, besides the well-framed shots and elegant charm. What we found could change the way you see everything. It all starts with a dream. Stephanie took a big risk in 2005 when she left a small London apartment to buy Chateau Diaries with two friends. The house was hundreds of years old and full of history, but it needed a lot of work to make it look like new again. Big plans were made to turn it into a successful bed and breakfast, a retreat for artists, and a spot where history and imagination could mix. But dreams like these need more than just fire. They need money too. A lot of it. At first, personal cash and small bookings were used to pay for the repairs. The dream was still alive, but progress was slow. Everything changed when shutdown happened. The amount of material online exploded when the world went dark. The Chateau Diaries got a lot of attention all of a sudden. People signed up for the channel and views went through the roof. The chateau stopped being just a repair project and turned into a full-fledged online business. After that, there was Patreon. The project started regularly making tens of thousands of dollars when thousands of loyal fans started giving money every month. The amount goes up even more when you add in money from YouTube ads, sponsorships, and bookings. It easily gets to hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. That's when the big question came up. Where is all this money going? The promise of a good heating system has been one of the most talked about things on the show. Stephanie has been saying for years that it's very cold inside the chateau in the winter, and that improving the heating is a top concern. Even though a lot of money has been donated, this important project is still not finished. People have seen a different design instead. There are a lot of fancy decorations, old furniture, designer items, and expensive trips in the films. These additions do make the channel look better and tell better stories, but they also bring up an uncomfortable question. Why are improvements to the look being given more attention than improvements to important infrastructure? People who used to give with excitement are now beginning to doubt themselves. Is the chateau really being fixed up, or is it just being kept up to make the content look nice? Because repairing an old building isn't just about making it look nice. It's also about making sure it stays safe and structurally sound for a long time. And a lot of people think that this duty is being ignored. Next is the problem of being open and honest. Trust is very important in the world of online material, especially when it comes to crowdfunding. A lot of artists are open about their finances, which lets viewers see exactly how their donations are being spent. However, it's tough to find in-depth stories in this case. There aren't any clear numbers, regular updates, or public statements that say how the money is being spent. People who back the process should just trust it. That faith is slowly being put to the test as time goes on. The use of workers at the chateau is another issue that has caused debate. In return for food and a place to stay, people from all over the world come to help with repairs and maintenance. Even though this kind of deal happens all the time, some people say it's not always a good idea when there's a lot of money available. Why depend on unpaid work when the project is making so much money? Why not hire skilled professionals to get important tasks done faster? Are these people really learning something useful, or are they just filling in gaps in the system so that money could be used in a different way? People online have started to answer these questions as they get stronger. Forums, Reddit threads, and social media sites all have conversations that show a change in how people see things. Many fans are still loyal, but some are starting to notice patterns, like slow progress, broken vows, and a story of struggle that never seems to end. There are some critics who think that this feeling of unfinished business is part of the plan. There's always a reason for people to keep watching and giving money as long as there are problems to solve. Stephanie has talked about some of these worries in her films. She says that repairing an old building is very hard and can take a long time because of unexpected problems, legal issues, and delays. That is certainly true. Project to fix things up can take years or even decades. But here's where it's hard to avoid the comparison. Other chateau owners have made much more obvious progress in much less time, even though they had much smaller budgets. A second thing Stephanie often says is that the Chateau Diaries isn't just about fixing up old things. It's also about sharing stories. She's right, too. The channel is beautifully made, makes you feel things, and is definitely fun to watch. But telling stories with real money from real people means you have to be responsible. It's no longer just information after that point. It's a promise. Stephanie is very talented, that's for sure. People all over the world can relate to what she made. She has used a historic house to tell a beautiful, emotional, and imaginative story that spans a world. But as people learn more, their standards start to shift. No longer do people just want to watch the dream. They want to know what's really going on. The Chateau Diaries is more than just a YouTube program in the end. Trust, help, and faith are what this business is built on. And, like any business, it is to answer to the people who make it work. The internet is great for being creative and sharing stories, but it can also be used to find the truth. There's one more question left for you. Are you really seeing a real repair on the Chateau Diaries, or are you just seeing a carefully made illusion?